Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about foundation brushes, and I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 holy grail foundation brushes, why I love them and where you can get them from. As you probably know from watching a few of my, top foundation videos and stuff, and I will link them all in the description bar below. For me, foundation needs to be essentially flawless for me to be happy. I like medium to full coverage. I generally typically go for more of a matte finish because I'm an oilier skin type. But the actual finish of the foundation, for me to be happy, and I'm like really anal about it, it has to be perfect. No streaks, no demarcation lines. It just has to be perfect. I am going to do this as a whole series, so I will, do face brushes, contouring brushes, eye brushes, lipstick brushes. Like we'll go through it all so that you know what I like to use on myself and what I use and what I prefer to use on my clients. For those of you that are new to my channel and don't already know, I am a professional makeup artist. I've used hundreds of makeup brushes and I've had plenty of time to figure out what works and what doesn't. These are the brushes by far that have held up through the test and that make people look absolutely amazing. So yeah, if you guys want to learn my top 5 foundation brushes, then please keep on watching. So if you've been watching my channel from the start here, this brush is going to be literally no surprise to you because this is like my longest loved, tried and truest brush. Ta-da! This is the Sigma F80 flat top Kabuki. Now this brush I have been using here on my channel since day one, like literally since day one. This brush is a synthetic hairbrush. Actually, all of my foundation brushes are synthetic hairbrushes. I prefer synthetic hairbrushes anyway, for the vegan aspect of it. The bristles in this brush are all one length. It's not rounded or tapered in any way. As you can see, the top of it is very, very straight. This brush is very, very soft to work, and seeing as it's got such a large sort of surface area, it does an amazing job of buffing foundation over the entire face in a really, really quick way. So if you're in a hurry, this brush is going to be awesome for you to use. And look how pretty it is. Now this brush does come in different colors. You can buy it with a gold or a silver ferrule. I just love the rose gold coppery colors so much. I will put links and prices of all of the brushes in the description bar below so that you guys can check them out. But yeah, my number one favorite foundation brush and that I've used for the longest time is the Sigma F80. Next up is a brush by Zoeva, which coincidentally is actually literally the same as the last brush that I just showed you, but it's just got more splayed out bristles and it actually covers a larger surface area. So this is the Zoeva 104 buffer brush. Like I said, very similar to the previous brush. Synthetic bristles, they're all cut to the same length and it's got a flat top. Large surface area. So once again, if you're buffing, you're trying to buff out makeup very, very quickly, if you're in a hurry, this is going to be your best bet. And it just creates this really, really beautiful airbrushed finish that photographs perfectly and just looks amazing in any light. And it's pink. Can we just deal? Once again, you don't have to buy this in pink. It comes in so many different colors on the Zoeva website. Yeah, this is my second. They're just so soft. I want to sleep on it. Love this brush. This next brush is a newer addition to my collection, and I do apologize because it's a little bit filthy. It's another flat top Kabuki. At the end of the day, these really are your best bet for perfectly flawless and airbrushed foundation. This is the Fairless Cosmetics PRO 4F. I think that stands for Professional 4F. This is a vegan makeup brush. Again, all synthetic fibers. No animals were harmed in the production of this brush. This is an Australian brand as well, which, being an Aussie girl, I love to back my Aussie babes. This is a really, really awesome brush. So this brush comes in a professional kit or you can buy it on its own. And once again, all the fibers of this brush are synthetic and they're all cut to the same length. It gives this really flat top on the top. This one actually covers a smaller surface area than the other brushes and it's actually a little bit less dense than the 2 previous brushes that I mentioned. So it is going to take you a little bit longer to buff out products with this brush, but at the same time, the finish is flawless. Your foundation will look perfect if you use this brush. I guarantee it. If you can't get it perfect with this brush, then you may be a lost cause because it just makes it so easy, I promise you. Another thing that I really do like about this is it's got black fibers. Now, for those of you that have owned flat top Kabuki brushes in the past, it is hella difficult to get foundation out of them. Doesn't matter how long you scrub them or what you scrub them with, foundation always seems to get sort of stuck like mangy and right down in the center of the bristles, right at the base. And the result of that is this. So as you can see, this brush is clean, but it's still stained. Like it's still got like this sort of beigey tinge to the middle of it. You're not going to get this happening with this brush because the fibers are black. I like things to look clean. Is that weird? Like, it just looks nicer. So, love this brush. Next up is another Zoeva brush, and it's another rose gold one. They're just so pretty. This is the 102 Silk Finish. So this is actually, is it a duo fiber? No, it's not a duo fiber. It just looks like one. This is essentially a round top Kabuki brush. Once again, synthetic fibers. No little fur babies were harmed. The thing that I really like about this brush is the way that the bristles are cut. They're shorter on the outside here, and then they get longer towards the center, which gives the effect of like a dome shape. And when you're buffing in product with this brush, you know, as you roll it around on the face, it really pushes the product deep into the pores. And then with the longer fibers, you can really buff off, you know, any excess product, move it around and just create a really flawless finish. Absolutely love this brush. This is great for traveling. I tend to take my sort of smaller little brushes with me when I go traveling. And if you wanted to multitask with this brush, you 100% could, because if you pinch the bristles like this, see how it just changes the shape completely of the brush? You can use it for contouring, you know, around the forehead, around the jawline. You can, you know, use it for all of that. And then if you go like this, it reforms its shape back into a dome. So I really love the finish of this brush. It's so pretty. Zoeva brushes are like legit the prettiest brushes. Like, I don't know. So pretty. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Don't know what else. I dropped it. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome foundation brush. And yeah, this one will not let you down. Now, finally, I reckon I quite potentially saved the best brush till last. This is the Crown 439 or the C439 Deluxe Buffer Brush. Oh, this one I've had for, I think about a year and a half now, or maybe a year. Oh my gosh. So the finish that you get with this brush is absolutely amazing. You can buff with it, you can stipple with it. You can blend concealer under the eyes with it. Literally, it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. You could just do it with your eyes shut and just go like this, and your foundation will still look perfect. I don't know what it is, this brush. And actually, uncannily, this is the cheapest of all of the brushes that I've shown you. So it's actually really interesting. You know, sometimes, you know, expensive is meant to be better. It's not always the case. This one is definitely not as soft as the other brushes, I'm not going to lie. And it is much more densely packed than the other brushes. Like, there are so many bristles crammed in here, and they hardly move around. Like, it's really, really quite stiff. It's cut like the last brush, so the bristles on the outside are much shorter, and then they get longer towards the center, which gives like a really good dome effect. And I don't know if it's deliberate or if it's like a factory fault or what the go is, but the bristles aren't cut sort of in a way that's completely uniform. Some of them are a little bit longer than others, and it gives the top of the brush like this really fluffy sort of feel, kind of like velvet. And I actually think that it is that makes this brush work so well and blend your foundation out so well, because it's not like a straight surface. You guys have seen me use this in so many videos, and I get so many comments on those videos saying, oh, what is that brush that you're using? I think it looks very similar to a Morphe brush too. I don't have the Morphe version of this, I've only got this one, but oh my goodness, I absolutely adore this crown brush. And it is so affordable. It might be like $8. I'm going to go with $8, but I could be wrong. Once again, I will link it down below. But yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome foundation brush. Now, finally, I realize it's not a brush, but I have to mention it anyway. And excuse it being so feral and dirty because I used it this morning, but this is a beauty blender sponge. I'm sure a lot of you already know what this is. You've seen me use them in my videos. You already know how to use them. But for those of you that don't, this is a small sponge that you wet underwater. Now, once it's wet, it probably doubles its size, maybe nearly even triples its size. It absorbs a lot of the water into the core and it gets ridiculously soft. Like, it's pretty hard now because it's dry, but when they are soft, they are absolutely amazing. For me, it doesn't matter what foundation brush you use, you're never going to have the same finish as you would if you use a beauty blender. The only downside with these is that they absorb a lot of the product. So a little tip from me to you is to actually first buff your foundation using your foundation brush, and then just go over your face gently with a beauty blender to really, really smooth it out. It pushes the product directly into the pores, and you can sort of use like rolling motions and things like that to help it. But it makes it look like the makeup has been sprayed onto your face with an airbrush gun and not like you've actually applied it. So I absolutely love these. I use them on every single client. Ask anybody who's ever had me do their makeup. I've used a beauty blender and they all just sit with their eyes shut and they're like, oh, that feels so good. What is that? Girlfriend, it's a beauty blender and it's amazing. You can use these to apply primer. You can use these for your foundation, to blend concealer in, for cream contouring. You can use them to set your foundation with powder. I love that trick, and I do have a, I think, top 5 makeup tips video that talks about why that's so good, so I will link that in the description bar below as well. If you're passionate about having perfect looking skin like I am, you're going to want to get a beauty blender, I promise you. And yes, they are ridiculously expensive for such a small piece of sponge, but don't buy, you know, the $2 ones off eBay because they're fake, and when they're wet, they're not going to be anywhere near as soft as these, and they're not going to work anywhere near as well. So that is it for this video today, guys. I hope that you really enjoyed it and you picked up some tips and tricks that you might be able to use in your own makeup routine. Like I mentioned earlier, I am a professional makeup artist and I have been trying and testing makeup brushes for years, and it's taken me quite a while to actually find 5 that I'm happy with. I've normally just got one that's just like my ride or die, but all of the products that I've mentioned in this video are really, really good for getting that really perfect, flawless airbrush finish on the face, and I back them 100%. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up for me, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye! Hey everyone, welcome to today's video, which is inspired by the beautiful PME. I absolutely adore her makeup. She's so bronzed and glowing, and she's